So again, there's no right way to skin a cat, right? So there's a million ways to get a project financed. There are some more common ways. I would say, to me, the steps I take is, okay, let's find a producer, then let's find a director. Hopefully that director has enough clout and or has some actors they're willing to get attached. If they do, at that point, let's start approaching financing. There's different types of financiers. There are development financiers who will just cover certain development costs, and those can be great, but a lot of them don't get involved unless they're like passion driven, and it's really hard to find those. Or again, you're based off of IP, so it's a book you want to turn into a script or a comic book or a true story. Those can be avenues where you can find that development financing. But outside of that, there's equity. Equity is really the best option for most people if they can find it. And those are people that are really coming in with financing and saying, hey, we will come in with X amount. We want to be, recouping alongside any other investors you put in at the same time. We're willing to be first or last. They tend to be a bit more open. But then there's other avenues like, I don't know, you're shooting in Georgia and you have a tax incentive, and so you need to find a tax incentive investor. Tax incentive investors tend to be the easiest money to find. So it's not super helpful when you come to the table saying, I have a tax incentive investor, but it can help with your financial plan to say, I have a $1 million movie, I'm shooting in Georgia, I'm just throwing numbers out there, right? But I'm shooting in Georgia, we're getting $200,000, so I only need to raise $800,000. That helps people kind of wrap their heads around, okay, so it's a bit less risk for me if I come in with 400 or something. Then there's debt. So let's just say you pre-sell your movie to somewhere in the United States and they pre-buy it for 300 grand. Somebody can paper that sale for you so you can go into production, because a lot of the time distributors, they'll say, hey, when you deliver me the movie, I'll pay you 300 grand. So you can kind of almost bank that paper if it's a quality enough distributor. Then there's GAAP. GAAP sits somewhere in the middle of debt and equity. And they tend to say, okay, you have this great sales agent on board. You've done $300,000 in pre-sales already. There's $200,000 more you think you're going to do. We'll bank against your 200 think you're going to do paper because we have faith in you, but we recoup before the equity does. And there's other kind of different avenues, but those are the really big ones that you need to think about. Playing with what kind of investments do you think you can raise with who, what kind of distributors this could be for. Therefore, are they going to be putting up minimum guarantees for you? Or is this a really tough drama, but it's a really good script, so you're probably going to need all equity because it probably won't be a pre-sale? You really have to think those through as you're building the package.